Their steps sounded slow but sure, down the long hallway to the cabin of the plane that would take them to leave Switzerland, a country that in recent days seemed to be a silent witness to a story that will not be easily forgotten. Kim Taehyung walked a little ahead, wearing a long dark coat, his face calm, but his eyes harbored something deeper than just travel fatigue. Behind him, Taehyung Jungkook followed at a leisurely pace, occasionally looking down, as if to avoid the glare of the cameras that still faithfully followed them until the last second of departure. The moment felt different. There were no loose laughs like those that had been caught on camera a few days earlier as they enjoyed the quiet corners of Switzerland. There are no light expressions or small jokes that are customary to characterize them in front of the public. There's only silence, a silence that speaks louder than words. Many wonder, what do they really feel in the last seconds before leaving that place that has given so many personal moments? During their stay in Switzerland, Taehyung and Jungkook's whereabouts became a hot topic of conversation among global fans. From the snowy streets, they walked through to the small cafe where they were briefly seen sitting side by side. Every cut of the moment felt like a piece of story deliberately left open to interpretation. There was no official statement, no post explaining in detail the purpose of their trip. But that's exactly where the appeal lies. A mystery that slowly builds an emotional narrative in the minds of fans. Several witnesses in Switzerland said they saw how the interaction between the two felt much calmer than usual. Not that there is a distance, but rather a maturity that is now increasingly evident. Taehyung, who is known to be expressive, looks more observant, while Jungkook, who is usually full of energy, looks more reflective. Ostensibly, this trip is not just a short vacation, but a space of respite, a place where they can truly be themselves without the pressure of the stage and the expectations of the world. And now, it all ended in a narrow passage leading to the cabin of the aircraft. An airport staff member was seen opening the way, giving them space to enter first. Taehyung paused for a moment in front of the cabin door, looking back, not to look for someone, but as if giving a silent greeting to something invisible. Jungkook, who was a few steps behind him, noticed the movement, then without saying anything, stepped closer, and no dialogue was heard. But the small gesture was enough to spark various speculations. Are they remembering something? Has Switzerland left traces deeper than they seem on the surface? As they finally entered the cabin, the plane door slowly closed, symbolizing the end of a small chapter in their long journey as two individuals who continue to grow under the world spotlight. But as is always the case with their stories, each ending always brings a new beginning. Fans around the world began to speculate about what would happen after this. Will they come back with a new project? Does this journey have a special meaning that will unfold in the future? Or is it just a part of their personal lives that they choose not to share completely? To be sure, the trip to Switzerland has added one new layer to the narrative of Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship. A narrative that is no longer just about laughter, familiarity, or viral moments, but also about silence, reflection, and emotional maturity. And perhaps precisely therein lies the strength of their stories. Inside the plane's cabin, which was now beginning to fill with the sound of safety. Instructions, Taehyung sat in his seat, staring out the small window beside him. Out there, the runway is starting to get busy. Jungkook sat not far from her, plugged in his earphones, yet hadn't played any music. He sat quietly, closing his eyes for a moment, and no one knew what was on their minds at the time. But one thing is clear, Switzerland is not just a place they visit. Switzerland is a story to a story that they have now left behind, but that they will probably always carry with them wherever they go. And as the craft finally moves slowly, leaving behind a cold but memorable land, the world can only wait, waiting for the continuation of a story that, as always, will always find its way back to be told. The roar of the aircraft engines began to sound more and more stable, creating a constant sound background that only emphasized the quiet atmosphere among the passengers. Behind the small window, the light of the anvil slowly faded away, replaced by the darkness of the vast night sky. Kim Taehyung still kept his gaze outward, as if trying to capture one last second of the country he had just left. There was something in his gaze, not just a memory, but rather like a silent conversation between himself and the time that had passed. On the other hand, Taehyung Jungkook finally opened his eyes slowly. The earphones are still plugged in, but no tone is playing. He turns slightly towards Taehyung, watching without wanting to be seen paying attention. Their relationship has always been like that. It does not always have to be expressed in words, because there is an understanding that has already been built long before this moment occurs. The plane began to take off. Its body was lightly pushed into the back of the seat. In a few seconds, Switzerland literally turns into a small expanse of light that the farther, the more unattainable. And at that moment, something really felt like it was over. But oddly enough, there is no excessive sadness. There's only a sense of calm, like two people who know that what they have experienced does not need to be repeated to be remembered. Taehyung finally took his eyes off the window, took a deep breath, then leaned back. For the first time since they entered the plane, he closed his eyes, allowing himself to be immersed in his own thoughts. Jungkook noticed that. A small smile, barely noticeable, appeared in the corner of his lips. It is not a happy smile that is striking, but a deeper smile. The smile of someone who understands that some moments are not created to be shared with the world, but rather to be kept together as part of a personal journey. Some of the passengers started to get busy with their respective activities. The cabin lights are dimmed, creating a warm atmosphere that contrasts with the chill of the night out there. A flight attendant walks slowly down the aisle, making sure everyone is safe. But in between, Taehyung and Jungkook remain in their own little space, a space seemingly separated from the outside world. Time passed imperceptibly in that silence. Jungkook finally tilted his head slightly, leaning back in the chair more leisurely. His hand moved slowly, opening the screen of his phone, yet not really focusing on anything. Like there's something else more important to think about, something that can't be explained with just words or pictures. Maybe about this trip, probably about what they will face after returning to Korea, or maybe about each other. Because in the end, this trip to Switzerland is not just about the places they visit, but about the distance they travel, emotionally. There are small changes that are invisible to the eye, but strong enough to be felt. A maturity that grows slowly, without the need to announce. And as the night wore on, the plane continued speeding through the sky, bringing the two figures back to life in the spotlight. But this time, something was different. They don't come back as the same people they were when they left. The Swiss have left their mark. Not on the cameras, not on the news, but in themselves on a trail that may never be fully understood by the world. Yet it will always be there, still and real.